Welcome to the Voice of Florida Architecture. I'm Rhonda Hammond, your AIA 2024 President. I'm here with Monty Stark, the Vice President of Communication, and Adam Gale, who is our Vice President of Professional Development.
Rhonda, Adam,
Monty.
it's great to sit down with you guys today. As we've talked about the idea of these communications with our components and to start all this out, we thought initially let's start with conversation about the convention. And I have the luxury of, and I mean that in a sincere way, I have the luxury of being able to enjoy it without having gotten my hands dirty in preparation of it all and gone through all the efforts and angst. So I have a cheat sheet of some questions that we can go back and forth about if you would like, but I would love to just get your thoughts on it and let us know what we might have to look forward to. July 17th through the 20th, is that right?
That's right.
At the Breakers, right. Great place. Well, given the theme of the convention is live, work, and play, can you guys talk about that a little bit and how that plays into the events of the convention?
Well, let me talk a little bit how I came up with the theme, and then I'll let Adam talk about how he wove that into the convention so successfully. But throughout the year, I had understanding how timely and just pointed the themes were. I felt pressured. It's like, it's got to be on point. It needs to be timely. What does the membership need? What do we want to do this year? So for months, I worked with how do we put that into a theme that people can take and use. And during a conversation, I started explaining to someone how I introduced the third year studio at FAMU when I was teaching. And the third year is a really good year. It's that transition year from conception to whole building systems. And I wanted them to understand the breadth and the importance of the profession that they had chosen. And I tell them, I want you to sit and think about this for a moment, but think about the impact and influence you're going to have on people every day. From the time they are born, where they live, where they work, where they learn, where they play, where they worship, where they heal. I found that to be tremendous, a lot of responsibility. And in having that discussion, it dawned on me that's why architecture matters. Not only for the community and the built environment that we help pull together, but in our legacy. That's why architecture matters. And so that's how the theme come about.
Yeah, so once we had the theme, it's how do we abstract from that and make it into something that can actually be a part of the convention, right? And so I think as Rhonda just very eloquently described, it is very much about how do we take what we do in our day-to-day, and pull that into something that we can take into these three components, live, work, play, of course, keeping in mind why architecture matters in all of this. And so I think the natural breakdown was to start looking at classes that we thought were relevant and then start to kind of slot them into those sorts of categories. Is this something you can take home to your day-to-day life? Is this more of a fun session where you'll learn something, but it's more about having fun and being present? Or is this something that I'm going to take back to my work? And then even subdividing within there, is it a technical detailing session? Or is it, a life safety kind of something more broad brush? And so taking a lot of the elements that are naturally in convention anyhow, but starting to paint them, through this lens of live, work, and play. And I think one of the ways that we were really able to effectively do that this year is by having a very diverse convention planning committee. And, I say diversity, I don't just mean socioeconomic status, race, I mean age, everything, all shapes, colors, sizes, everything. And I think
and levels of experience.
I mean, that was one of the most critical parts, is that we feel like there's a lot of content that can be for very early practitioners. There can be a lot of content for our more seasoned practitioners, but what about the missing middle that we speak of? And so we really wanted there to be a diversity of sessions that everyone could experience and enjoy, but also to have some more specialized sessions that kind of catered to each one of those groups. Again, all looking through that live, work, play lens.
Can you share some highlights?
I think we can start with the keynote speakers. When I was doing research on why architecture matters, I come across Mr. Goldberger, who actually has written a book about why architecture matters. I enticed him with being able to stay at the Breakers, but he's going to be our kickoff session. And I think that's going to be a great session for everybody for our kickoff. Senator Pasadoma, who championed the Live Local Act that helps communities be able to make affordable housing more available. She's another kickoff or another keynote speaker.
Yeah, and there's some other really cool sessions too, some a little bit more technology facing, elements of AI, how we can incorporate that into our day-to-day in the office, elements of building specifications. It can be something that's not as exciting as a senator or affordable housing, but it's very, very important to what we do. And so, certainly keeping some of the aspects of our practice front of mind. And then, of course, some of the play sessions, too. There's a photography course this year, which is very filled up already. There's a kind of a continuation of a Black Architects in the Making session, where last year we had a tower building competition, and this year I believe we've got
marshmallows and toothpicks.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my highlights of the convention last year, so I'm really looking forward to that. And there's going to be some time to network and mingle with everybody as well, which I think is a really important aspect of the convention.
Yeah. I love the networking and see so many friends from around the state that I don't see often enough, and I'm really encouraged by their successes and what they bring to me in conversation and encouragement and all of that.
You learn from each other.
Yes. Well, when you consider the sessions, what do you personally look forward to taking home to your practice and the desires you have to take home from the convention? You have any anticipated thoughts on that?
I have. I really appreciate the sessions that we entitle under the business of architecture. It's things that you can take literally back and put an application right away with your firm. We have Josh Flowers, who's going to discuss the issues of intellectual properties and going to talk about the difference in licensing and copyright. I think that's going to be very effective for everybody in a firm. There's, what else are the sessions, Adam?
Yeah, so there's a lot on spec building, AI from a technology standpoint, affordable housing. Some of the ones that I'm kind of most excited about are ones geared towards mentorship and being part of the professional development committee. That one hits a little bit close to home this year for me, but it's something that I think collectively, both from a mentee and mentor standpoint, AIA Florida has been looking to get something a little bit more robust over the last couple of years, and we're putting together a couple of workshops in anticipation of convention, and we're hoping that they really kind of bloom and some of those relationships take off at the convention. So that's one that I've got my eye on this year.
Another session that I think is very important, or a group of sessions, is what we put forth for emerging professionals, and understanding that emerging professionals are the brand new graduates to the people that's been within 10 years, I think is the cutoff there. But it's that missing middle that Adam mentioned before, but we have session which is called Now I'm Licensed, What Do I Do Next? So we have sessions that's literally it. It's going to be good. But we have sessions that affect that group. Although I want them to understand that every session in this convention is for you to be there.
Yeah, and I want to build on that too. I mean, for our young architects out there and really everybody across the spectrum, I think even though some of these courses are maybe targeted for a specific age demographic, there's always time to learn something new. There's always time to think about something farther down the line than what's right in front of us that we're staring at now. And so even though some of the content may be branded for a particular demographic, really all of the sessions, I think, are universal and are going to be really fun to attend. Nobody's
going to be age checked or anything like that? No. Okay, good, because I fully reserve the right to go to that. Now what do I do thing. Exactly. I look forward to hearing, what's said there. Yeah, what should I have done? Exactly. I look forward to that one.
So before we leave this topic, another session that's important is the trade show. And those vendors, we have sold out already. It's a big crowd, and it's important for them because the vendors are the reason that we can keep the cost of the convention reasonable. So we need to support those vendors. You need to go and introduce yourself and spend some time at the trade show.
And the technology and information they bring is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful to catch up with them year after year as well, and meet some new ones also. And that kind of rolls into a point that I know we wanted to at least address for a moment. And in our conversations about architecture in Florida, we've begun to reach out in the past years to industries and leaders and resources, I'll call it like that we want to and should have a relationship with. Is there the opportunity, the trade show being one, but is there opportunity to get benefit of some of that?
Absolutely. I mean, as Rhonda mentioned, we have Senator Passidomo coming in. We've got a very broad and diverse group for the Affordable Housing Panel. And so there are a lot of issues that are kind of front of mind for our profession that we will have access to there. Absolutely.
And we have the Education Panel Part 2 this year again with bringing back the deans of the School of Architecture around the state. Yes. So that will be another robust conversation. So we're looking forward to that. So, yes. That's
excellent. Well, it's long been a place of recharging and reconnecting and enjoying our company. How much play can we expect to enjoy? How much work? We all have the ability to bring work with us. Hopefully that won't be too much. But the living and the playing and the recharging is something that I really look forward to as well.
So in regards to play, there's always the drink and draw. And for the last couple years, it's been dancing too. So there's one. We talked about the BAM build out with the marshmallows and toothpicks. The architectural photography session.
Yeah. Sumie and Saki. And, right.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Highly encourage that.
Yes.
And there's
the
really
tours,
a wonderful, variety of tours. I believe there's still, if anyone wants to go check out the Brightline, there's availability on that one. Just the grounds of the Breakers is beautiful too. And so, if you really do need to take a step out and recharge, it's a beautiful place to walk around, sit by the pool, observe the beautiful architecture. So There'll be plenty of play, and again, as we mentioned at the top here, we really tried to balance live, work, play so that it's not exactly equal, but as close as we could to having a diverse variety of sessions. So if you're all work and no play, you need to take some time to chill, you'll be able to do so as well.
So where do you think we might find you two most at the convention?
You go first.
Running from session to session, but as I mentioned, I really enjoy the networking and the mentor aspect of it, and so I'll absolutely be at those sessions. You'll see me out and about talking to people out on the trade show floor. I had such a fun time at the BAM session last time, and so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in that room. There was a real electricity about it. As Rhonda mentioned, I think we've got a spectacular panel for our what do we do next now that I'm licensed group. So I think we're going to have some really special talents presenting this year, and I am going to be in one of those rooms every hour of the day.
So first and foremost, I'm going to be wherever Becky tells me I need to be. Is the first one. But I'm looking forward to being moderator of the education panel and then kicking off the sessions with introductions. I'm really looking forward to that. But the trade show too. I want to make sure they understand how much we appreciate them participating in our convention every year. And I, too, like the mentoring sessions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate very much the whole continuing education aspect of it. And honestly, years ago, first time I came, it was to get CEUs. And the benefits are profound and really subtle, is what I've found with relationships with other architects in the state and the knowledge that you get from all of this, and advocacy and professional development and all of that, which is all this is a part of. It's been profound. As we do these year after year, we all know that the Design Awards is kind of the exclamation point on all of this. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
First, I'd like to share one of the main surprises that we haven't spoken of is that this year the convention is going to end Saturday night with the culmination of the design awards. So Sunday now is going to be at your own leisure. But we have a record number of entries into the design awards, and they're going to be evaluated by a prestigious jury based in Seoul that our immediate past president, Beverly Frank, has arranged, and I'm looking forward to that session. We also have the 11th annual People's Choice, and you may be able to speak better than that to me.
I want to encourage everyone who's watching this, if it goes out before the convention, vote, go to People's Choice and vote. The theme, again, for People's Choice is live, work, and play. So the project range is pretty dynamic and interesting, and there's some really good entries there. So I encourage you to look at those and vote for those and introduce it to your community. We would love for them to get involved in the voting as well. It's People's Choice, not just AIA members' choice. So introduce that to your communities and encourage them to vote for those. So as just personally, what do you hope to get out of this year's convention as you attend and go back to your life to live, work, and play? What are some of the goals that you have there?
Yeah, I mean, I think as always, you mentioned certainly collect some of our HSWs and LUs. That's an important part of convention. But what's more important than that is, what are the tidbits that I can take and, as Rhonda mentioned, immediately interject into my practice to make what I'm doing better. And then I think from there, it's all right, but what can I start to build on that's going to be more of a long-term sort of growth and learning track? And to me, if I can meet a few new people, provide some mentorship from my experience, but also look for some mentorship from people who've been doing it longer than I have, that's what I'm looking for out of this convention. And so, whether it's in the classroom or outside, I'm looking forward to creating those connections and building on that knowledge collectively for years to come.
So in regards to membership, what I hope they bring or get out of the convention, in considering our theme, what you do is important, both to the community, to your projects, not only today, but for generations to come. So understanding why architecture is important and the part that you play in it. That's what I hope they take from it.
Nice. Very good. I'll look forward to this.
All right.
Yeah, me too.